Yo, what is going on, people? Happy Monday. The market is officially back. The stream is officially back, and I am excited to get going today. So, I hope everyone had an awesome weekend. If you're already trading, I hope that your trading session is going to your liking and that you're keeping everything in control and keeping it simple. So that's it. Here we go. As always, I'm going to start off with just a little quick. Where is it at? One of these. All right, real quickly, get this out of the way, and then let's get right onto the charts. So, obviously, this stream is supposed to be for entertainment purposes only. You can read what's on the screen here, that trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential in trading all financial markets. If you do not have an understanding of proper risk management, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. The content I provide is for general information purposes only. Entertainment should not be interpreted as advice, investment, or financial or otherwise, because I am not a financial advisor. But if you do choose to follow along with any of my trade positions, you do so at your own risk. Awesome. I hate doing that, but sometimes you got to do things like that. So anyway, let's get into the charts. Fresh week, so I'm going to start off right at the top on the weekly AU, and let's see what we're looking at here. So you had 2 weeks ago, you had this really strong bullish candle up to this level, but now you're starting to see last week was a little bit of a pullback. Maybe we get another one this week. Maybe it holds here and pulls up. We don't know yet. Weekly's hard to judge, so let's start going down a little lower. You can see it's at its 800 EMA. Doesn't mean much. It's still in an uptrend, as you can see overall, so I definitely want to stay bullish on this. Let's extend this range a little bit. See what we're working with here. Just as one level of support resistance. All right, so you can see price held this level, pushed off it, couldn't quite get back to it, came back, retested the highs, failed to make a higher high, so now we're dropping down. Did make a lower low, technically made a higher high. So let's see if price wants to come back and use this as resistance to continue this somewhat of a downtrend at its beginning, or if it's going to use this, get above it, and then push off it. We'll have to see. But right now, it's clearly in a downward correcting manner. This looks like a channel to me. As soon as I see things like this, I start to just box them out. I think that's the best way to do it, and then you see how it handles it. So yeah, prices, like I said, overall we're still in this uptrend, but right now you have a short-term corrective downtrend. So let's see how it plays out. EA, let's take it from the top. Okay, so EA on the weekly last week came down to this level, failed to reject it 2 weeks ago. Last week tried to push up, kind of the same as AU, because EA and AU they're going to be similar pairs, inverse for sometimes. So you can see as AU was pulling down, this has been pulling up a little bit. So on the daily, looks like you kind of hit a zone here. Haven't been on the charts. It's a little rusty. All right, there we go. So something like this. See, kind of like you hit a zone and you broke out of it. Let's see if maybe you want to come back and kind of retest this structure. I mean, you could call it something like this. See how it handles in here. Let's go to the 4-hour. So you're a little divergent at this bottom. You can see you made a low. Come on. But this low is like slightly lower, if not the same. So you can see that price is saying that this is weak, and that's why it's moving up now. So it's kind of gone from divergence to confluence, because now you can see that from here to here is kind of the same to here. Like, so it's now kind of moving off of this level, but doesn't mean that it's done. Moving down. You can see double top failed to make a higher high right here, so it's starting to come down. This almost looks like a head and shoulder pattern on the TDI down here. So this is divergent as well. That's why you get a change in, kind of like a retrace off of there. Comes back up to tries to test the high. Can't. Showing rejection. Could be saying that it's weakness. Still moving higher off this correction, but the overall trend is down long term. So nothing too clear yet, but you can see you're definitely rejecting this high multiple times, so it could be falling off. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see if it does want to continue to come lower. But nothing's concrete on this yet. EU's fell off hard Thursday, Friday, with everything going on with that resistance to the top, and you can see that here in the weekly from back in March, and then just here recently, pins to this higher structure, not quite getting there. Still in this upward momentum. This could just be like a consolidation before more bullish momentum. Pockets, good morning. I got to remember to read the chat. You can see here on the daily, kind of came up. It did make a higher high from this structure, but it didn't make an overall higher high. This would be a higher low as we were trying to retest this structure. A little bit of selling pressure on it. So it started to move off of it. 4 hour. You could see you make a higher high here, as we had said, but it's lower on the TDI, so you have some divergence. And with that divergence, now you started making bearish structure. You broke down, consolidate, break down, consolidate. So what in essence you're making is lower high, higher, lower, lower, low, higher, lower high, and then now you're making a lower low. So let's see if it holds and pushes down. And you can see it even cleaner here as you get into the 1 minute, 1 hour, you get more candles. Break down, consolidate, break down, consolidate. So lower high, lower low. See if this becomes a level that then becomes a lower high like this one did. So let's keep this short in our mind. I like it short. I'm going to mark it short. This one seems pretty clean. You can see it's consolidating at its 800. Could be in a little bit of just consolidation range, obviously, as we're seeing. But I do like, I do like it to come down maybe to here, retest this level, if it breaks this level. So you definitely, let's start drawing it like this. You kind of got this going on right here. I mean, you could draw it this big if you wanted. That could make sense too, because now you can see how you're just in this, for the most part, you're just in this chop. So this is going to be a little bit messy up here, so I'm going to get rid of this when we get down. There you go. So kind of the same thing. We just keep drawing these zones. You can see you're in consolidation. You're at like a reset point, but I like it to the downside. So let's keep going. GJ. GJ on the weekly. You can see 2 weeks ago, strong bullish momentum. Then last week, strong bearish momentum. So up and down, not quite full engulfing. Kind of like, I think they call that an inside candle. So you can see that you came up and you made a higher high, and now you've come down and you're retesting this zone. So potentially, maybe this week, we can see some more bullish momentum to retest this high, potentially. That makes sense to me. Looks like you got a head and shoulders here as I look at it. And potentially that if you read candle formations, then you would see this as selling opportunity. Shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, fall down, comes back up, comes down again, double bottoming. Overall trend is long. I guess you could say it. Let's say. Yeah, I mean, it's been from back in, mid-May up. Made a high, but you didn't have any pullback. So here's your pullback. Now, if my expectation on like a 15-minute or an hour would be that you're going to come back and retest these highs, I would like to keep that bias on the daily. So you can see here you're getting some divergence. So you had your head and shoulders. As you come down to the hour, you see it more defined because there's more candles, comes down, hits a point of resistance, pushes up off of it, resistance, breaks the resistance, but immediately comes back up, and now it's holding it. The last hour candle was bullish, engulfing. You are divergent, so let's see. Maybe it continues its uptrend and retest these highs. Even for short term, Friday's high at 136.08, maybe something like that. That's not too crazy of an idea in my mind. So I guess I'll mark it as like buy, but I'm not going to deny that this has obviously been in a downtrend. Broke above this level, made a lower low, but it came up and made a higher low. Let's see. Maybe I won't mark it yet like that. Because it's still in this downtrend. All last week was selling. Let's just see how it handles here before we get too biased on a on a direction. GU weekly. So 2 weeks ago, pushed up real strong, kind of like GJ did, and made this strong bullish engulfing. Came down, barely retraced this candle. A little bit of buying pressure with these pins. As you can see, tried to come in lower, but the buyers are in the market. So yeah, maybe we stay long on this. Let's see. For all these days, just bullish, 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 then you finally get a little bit of retracement. Now, the direction is still long. As you can see, you're hitting a level here. Maybe we get more momentum to the upside. Had this ascending channel, broke the channel, kind of starting to create downtrending structure, but not super clean. Divergent here on the hour. You can see this is a low. Then it makes a lower low, but this lower low isn't as low on the TDI as it is on price action. And then again, another lower low, but again, a higher low here on the TDI. So you're building divergence, saying that these bottom structures are a little bit weak in their push. And that's why you get a little bit of change retracement right here on the hour. Bullish engulfing engulfs this whole consolidation. Doesn't really, immediately stand out to me like, yeah, like let's get long on this. You're still in this downtrend over the short correction. So I want to make sure this correction is done before it's continuing back with its uptrend, before I get into anything. So that's where we're at. A little bit of indecision on my biases, but that's all right because it's just Monday. And Monday we want to take it slow and see how the week starts to progress. You don't have to get crazy and jump in anything, but if something's pretty clear and obvious, then I'm definitely going to try and make a move. So right now, a little bit of indecision, except I do like EU short, but we will see. Dollar index pulling up, kind of off of this double bottom structure on a daily, weekly. Same thing, but it is weak because 2 weeks ago, strong bearish candle, and then just barely making any. Well, you did have this. Let's not deny this. All last week came all the way down and then bullish pressure. So there could be bullish momentum on this. Yeah, we'll see. We've had 2 days of bullish pressure. All right, so that's where we're at. Ready for a great week, CJ? What is going on? Welcome back. Yeah, man, definitely. Very, very excited for this week. Did a lot of analysis over the weekend. Watched a lot of videos and supply and demand, support and resistance, whatever you want to call it. Just always trying to listen to other people who are doing it well and listen to what they say and how can I apply what they say to make it fit what I do. Because I never want to take any one single person's opinion as gospel. I always want to listen to what people say, see how they do it, see where I do it different, see where I do it the same, take their strengths, get rid of their weaknesses, apply it to what I do, and make it my own. So that's what I like to do over the weekends, watch a lot of videos. Um, and then I do a little bit of chart work. Usually the videos have chart work in it. So I just go on YouTube straight up. I just watch people's videos and see what they do, see if they're doing it similar to me. It's fun. I like doing that. So definitely ready for a really good week this week. I feel sharp. I feel fresh. But right now, like I said, on EU, you're clearly making lower trend structure, so I don't really want to get away from that. Let's take a look at these lower time frames. Definitely look like you could potentially get some bearish momentum in here. So you had this candle here that just closed, but see, this is still in the range. And this doesn't really break anything. So to me, this is definitely still in kind of just in this choppy range. Like, yeah, it keeps trying to break out, but as soon as it tries to break out, pulls back in, pulls back in, pulls back in. So I'm not crazy to jump on this yet. I want to see break, retest of the structure, and then more signals to the downside. That's definitely what I would want to see. There's no reason to get in this early. A little bit divergent here as you're making a higher high on this structure, but it's not higher on price action. So a little bit divergent, showing a little bit of weakness in that. Let's see what the still, still moving higher on the 5 minute here on the upper right hand portion of my screen. I'll blow it up for you. Let's get back to the hour. Try and get off these lower time frames. Let's see how it handles this. Let's see if, because this is clearly breaking structure. So is it going to consolidate and then give us more bullish momentum, as we were, talking about many times last week? When you kind of break this zone like this, sometimes you get a level before you get more continuation. Or is it going to, kind of hold the bottom of this structure here? Because you see how this one broke the structure and then it went. So let's see how it, and now you're right here at this level, something like this. Kind of see how it cleared the level, came back. And this is what I was saying. You want it like on EU, you want to see it break the level, retest the level, show you a bearish engulfing candle as your entry, and then continuation to the downside. That's how you want to take it. You don't want to take, if you take the first push and then you move your stop to a break even, you get stopped out. And this doesn't necessarily mean that this push is going to not come back up higher. You know what I mean? You want to see it break, retest, show you an entry signal, take the entry signal, then continuation. So now that we're back at this level, and now you can see with this pin, to me that says selling pressure as it's rejecting. You still got 11 minutes left in this candle, but it tried to break higher and it rejected. So now is it going to, like I said, consolidate and try again to push higher? Or is it still going to be holding this level as a resistance and then come lower? So that's the two schools of thought, and that's why it's contradicting, because you don't know yet. You have to let the market tell you what it's doing. Always let the market draw first and then you react. It'll save you a lot of money. All right. EA. On an hour, this market sentiment on this liquid 50 is kind of falling for a moment. Doesn't mean that it's going to just sell off just because it's in the downtrend. It's just correcting. But you can see that you really started coming off of this divergence from build that built all last week, and now you're moving off of it. So I don't want to ignore this correction. Let's see. can see that you're kind of, it's still rising short term off of the bigger downtrend. So let's see what happens in here. Just let it move first, and then we'll react to it. Kind of, but you know, like I want to say that this looks like it's falling off just because it's not making higher highs and it's having failure and it's divergent. Um, but again, if it is going to do that, it's going to break, it's going to retest and show resistance, throw a signal, and then fall off. And then that's how you take it. If not, it's going to break higher, retest, show bullish signal. So just a waiting game. Mondays. Sometimes the market has to wake up. I guess you could kind of say breaking this zone. If you were to like connect it a little tighter on the lower time frames. But as it was, it's still breaking, kind of breaking out. But this has definitely got some downward momentum off of the correction. You have to see how far it wants to pull back. Is it pulling back to here? Is it pulling back to this level here? So we don't know if the correction is done yet. Still in an uptrend overall. So overall, you'd want to stay, you know, long-minded, uptrend. But it's still in its correction, and you don't want to call an end to the correction yet. You have to let it find areas of support to continue this uptrend to potentially retest these highs. So gonna just keep staying with it for now until this market tells me that this correction is done, and then it's gonna go back into uptrend and retest these highs. Yeah, this morning hasn't been kind, but I find better setup. Pockets, did you already get in the market a little bit? That's what I'm interpreting from your message. Maybe it took an L. And if you did, it's all good. As long as it's controlled, you can always get it right back. Took a small L on EJ short. Let's see. Okay, it helps if I spell it right. I mean, I think you're in the right direction. Just a little early, maybe. Depending where you got in. Looks like it kind of just little divergent. Couldn't break these lows from Friday. Kind of hit that low and pushed off it. Yeah, AU was going down. Stupid article about fear came out. Screw me. Currently watching CAD JPY for short. The ping caught me. Gotcha. Got you both of you guys. I'm following you. It's all good. All good. Early week. Barely even started. Did you take, CJ, did you take this breakout momentum and then did you move your stop into profit and then the pin got you, or which pin? On the 1 minute divergence? Okay. Yeah, I knew better than to. It's all good. As long as you can, you know, You know what you did wrong, then you could correct it. Where's the 1 minute divergence? Up in here. Maybe like this. Maybe a little pin got you, something like that. Bummer. Sometimes it'd be like that. So we've got 5 minutes, and then we're going to get this 9 o'clock candle. We're going to get a 4-hour candle. We're going to get a 30-minute candle, so we're going to get a lot more information. Hopefully paints a better picture of what's going on. And then 30 minutes for the stock market, which should kind of really get the market going if it's going to get going. Nothing today. Nothing today. Nothing today. Nothing till later on. Monetary policy potentially on JPY. Anything could come out at any time, but that's tentative. While we're on the news, tomorrow looks good. It's not my session. This is basically not my session. I'm just getting on here. So a little bit of USD news tomorrow at 10 o'clock. High impact at 10 o'clock. Wednesday, I don't really trade at 8:30, so that's not going to bother me. So, and this is noon. I could be out before that. So Wednesday looks good. Before my market Thursday looks good as long as things don't get blown out on ADR, of course, on any of these news events coming out. And then I don't trade Friday. So my week looks pretty good for news. Pretty calm. Should be clean sessions. So I'm good about that. 0:30 my time. It got you. Oh, okay. So even earlier in the session on that one. Like Asia. It's 0:30 my time. So that's back here. Let's put a line on it and I can go find it. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So did you take this consolidation? Oh, sorry, 3. Okay, I was gonna say, were you in this consolidation and maybe a ping got you? 3:30. Hi, Ness, all the best. Thanks for sharing. Awesome. Hey, welcome. What's up, George? How are you? Welcome from OB. Gotcha. Now, just a quick question. Why, if you're just out of curiosity, if you're making a higher high, higher low, higher high, consolidation, breakout makes a higher high, comes back, makes a higher low, so you're clearly in bullish structure. I'm just curious why you would have chose to get in at the OB. Even though it's overbought, you know that your potential is to still come and test this high before it decides whether it's going to break higher as it did or if it's going to fall off. Because see, it's still like here it failed to make a higher, here it failed and then came back and retest again to make a higher high, couldn't, came back, tried again, couldn't, tried again, and it did. So now it's trying to, so I'm going to break it to 50. At 3:30? I don't have it breaking to 50. Yeah, I'm on a 1 minute. I'm not sure. I don't have it breaking here. I hope we're talking the same time. 3:30's here, but I don't have it breaking to 50. It's all good. You know, I think you just, you know, if you made an error or if you took the trade correctly and it just didn't work out, then all you can do is, just reanalyze and try and get it better next time. Gotcha. Are you in it? Did you get in it again? And is it working out for you? All right, 9 o'clock. Let's see where we're at. So, pretty 4 hour here on EU. Looks like you kind of pushed down, consolidated. Now you got some bearish momentum, as I like do in my head. Almost engulfs this candle. Not quite. Doesn't mean it can't keep going lower. Um, Same here on the hour. Not quite engulfing. Not really convinced that it's going down just yet. Let's go to the top real quick. AU on a 4 hour. Just kind of still what we see. You see this strong bearish candle, and then it's just pins up, pins down, but price is flat. You can see price is relatively flat as it's, collecting orders up and down, up and down. Is it going to be it didn't quite break this low here, but there's still potentially sellers in the market. But again, you are getting some bullish momentum. So indecision right now. Market doesn't know what it's doing. So I don't know what the market's doing. Maybe up and then higher. Don't know. I don't know yet. EA. Broke up. Breaking down. Getting a little bit of support here. Unsure. I'm still unsure just off of that. On the hour, it's kind of breaking down a little bit, but again, still could just be coming back to holding in this area here. The support. Still waiting. Good. Good patience. Absolutely. It never hurts to wait. It only helps. So yeah, we're still breaking down, but we're finding some support here. So we'll keep an eye on that. GJ, 4 hour. Still in this area. You got almost like a whipsaw in the last 4 hours. A little bit up, a little bit down, collecting orders, but price is just flat, like a hammer. Yeah, still holding the support. Yeah, not clear to me yet. Very, very unclear to me. And then GU, downtrend, break, retesting. Let's look for more bearish momentum potentially. Kind of see if, are we doing this? Are we like retesting this? Because this was the low, comes back up, breaks the low, kind of chops around, pushes lower, makes a lower low than this, but comes back to retest this previous point of support as resistance? Question mark. Don't know. If it throws a bearish signal, then I would look to potentially take it down to retest this area because you're still in a downtrend. You would be in that instance coming off of an area of resistance, showing more bearish momentum. This would be the target. It's a short target. Not really. From where price currently is, it's 70 something, but you would imagine that if you're taking the structure, you're looking for something here, so it'd probably be something like 35 pips. Doesn't mean it can't keep going. You've got plenty of space in ADR if you're coming to the downside because this has already been moved. If you're going to the upside, you don't have that much. If you're going to the downside, you have more because all of this has already been established, so that doesn't change your ADR as you drive lower, which is why it's like this is closer than this. Because if you're going higher, you're eating up your ADR because price hasn't been there yet. But if you're going lower, price has already been there, so that doesn't add to your ADR. So we'll see. We'll see. Nothing jumping out on that 4 hour and hour close. Again, 25 minutes until stock market. And that's usually helpful to see things going. At least I feel. That's where you get that New York traders really getting going. 4 hour on the DXY is still going up potentially, kind of breakout now. This consolidation bull flag, if you will, maybe something like that. Break this level of support, resistance here. As you can see, you clearly broke through it. Comes back, pushes off signal, becomes divergent. Now buyers enter the market at exhaustion. This pushes up strong, consolidate, pushes up strong, consolidate. Does our buyers still in this? We don't know. But you're starting to make an uptrending pattern. Higher high, lower high, or higher low. Everyone says that wrong. Higher high. Is this going to be your structure that then becomes your higher low and then you drive off? We don't know. But that's the structure. Let's see. Pockets. I believe my trading hours are going to change closer to your sessions. Are you liking this? Is this a little bit better for you? I know you're a couple hours off, so it's early for you. But not too early. I like it because I go back to the restaurant today, which I'm loathing. But so I'm going to be working back to my late nights. So waking up for the New York session helps me get that full rest. Because before, what I was doing, I would get home, my time on the East Coast, I would get home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I wouldn't get to bed until like midnight. And then I'm waking up at 5 to trade. And that's why my trading was so terrible, because I'm not giving my mind and my body the sleep and the rejuvenation that it needs to do something, as mind consuming as this. So definitely getting that full night's sleep is helpful. It's definitely helped me a lot. Need to work on it. Let's see if we can music or something while we're chilling. This might be a slow day, but we don't know. But at least
searching for music for your next video? Then you need to check out our list.
I still need to figure out how to do this on the, let me see, hold on one second. Let's see if I can do this on my computer. Speaking of YouTube, while I'm here, shameless plug if you don't already know. I post all these to the YouTube, the replays. They're also on Twitch, but I post them here as well. And then I was thinking about maybe doing some recap videos and weekly outlook videos and just general, like everyone else is doing. Just, doing what everyone else is doing. Try and build a YouTube channel and more of an audience so that, I can attract people from here to the Twitch and, just trying to grow things, help people. That's really it. So let's see if this works. I hear it in my headphones, but I don't know if it's playing on stream. I don't think it is. Alex, if you're watching the stream, is that playing on stream? This music? Okay. So you see it, but it's not playing? Okay, nothing here. All right, so that's not going to work. I have to figure out how I do that. All right, back to the charts. I have to figure out how to do that. Yeah, this is off my phone. I'm trying to get it in the stream. Still working out the kinks. Let's see. Is it too loud? Hmm? All right. I don't want to go that high. So this to me, um, so this was from last week, if I'm not mistaken, even more than last week. Yeah, because last week is just here. This must have been a bigger zone that I had drawn, and then it broke out of this. I don't know what this is. Why do I have this here? So what everybody do this weekend to get ready for the market? Do you take time off the charts and not look at anything? Do you do some back testing? What's everybody do to try and get themselves ready for a good week? CJ takes the weekends off, kind of rest the brain, dig it. See, I like GJ to. Let me see. Like it looks like it wants to come higher. If I'm looking here on this 5 minute, if I'm going short term, and anything could change, but you can see how it kind of up uptrend. You hit this bottom, comes divergent, moves up, makes a high, makes a higher low, makes a higher high, retests this area that it was previous from, basically the Asia Open, consolidates at that level, breaks down, but not lower than this. It uses this as support, breaks up, makes a higher high. Now it's coming down and it's testing this consolidation range. Is it going to hold this and drive higher for like a reset, or at least retesting these highs? You can see it's trying to move higher. So I wonder if it's going to hold and consolidate here, and if it pushes back up. That's how I would read it short term. There is definitely selling pressure in this market from the last hour. So you're definitely at a key level. And I was saying that here, this pin here on the hour, if you didn't see it. All this is, that means that price went up and sellers pushed it down, or people took profits, whatever be the case. But if you take profits and someone's, selling your order. But this definitely still, even on the 15-minute, looks the same. Of course it's going to look the same because it's just all the same information, just more candles or less candles. This is that push up, that consolidation that we talked about on the 5-minute. This is the breakdown. This is the higher high, breaking out of this Asia. Now it's consolidating. Are we going to get more momentum to the upside? Like EA to go higher. Pockets take the weekends off as well. Let's see, EA. Okay. So you like this level of support to hold and push higher? Kind of off of this area here. It's definitely strong. You could see it come higher and retest. Because, I mean, yeah, you're in this uptrend. So you want to, this is high a day. This is a lower, I guess a lower low, lower high, lower low, breaking structure. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, long would be the play overall. So we want to stay in that uptrend. But we don't know how far back the correction is. That's always the question. Because it's in a correction, so we want to wait to see for it to be done its correction. But it could be in this area. Why not? Off the 1 minute divergence. Now, I see what you're saying. But I don't know that that's the case. If I'm looking at it on the 1 minute, like I see it, but I still think this has momentum down. It's failing. This is a lower high. Well, we'll see. You have to wait and see if it gives you that push. But right now, I don't know that. I don't trust it yet. And I'm not, I like market structure. Like divergence, it's helpful when market structure is starting to fail. But market structure is showing me momentum downwards at the moment. Like I don't want to go against it and say, yeah, we're going to sell it because indeed it is going up. But you're failing from Friday. This is the high from Friday. You retested that high, came down. You should, if it's going up, you should break it, but you didn't. It's clear it didn't even test it. It's lower, and now you came and broke down even lower. I don't know that that's a great case for buying yet. Right now, it looks like sellers are in control as it's driving lower high and lower lows. This could be the level where it consolidates and comes lower for more overall correction. So we'll have to see. That's just how I see it. I could be dead wrong, but to me that's how I'm seeing it. This is still correcting. But we'll see. Just let the market move first. But yeah, to me this is still moving down. Now it could just the more down could just be to here, to this pin. It doesn't have to be, like massive amounts. Um, you know, but not quite the time for putting in a buy yet, in my opinion. Just, completely in agreement. Higher would be the move. But as you start to see it breaking down, you're just like, you become a little less, confident that that's what's going to happen at the moment. And it could easily just turn right up. And then you're like, yep, this is the one I like better, GJ. GJ making more sense to come higher. Here we come off the 5 minute. Right here, like I said, you're starting to get this bullish engulfing, clearing this range, 6 seconds. Off this high, pushing hard. Oh, I don't know what that is. Ah, no, go back. What the hell? Come on, bro. Uh-oh, I think I just ruined my trading view. What is this? Stock screener? Is that what I'm looking for? What is this? Where the hell? Trading panel? This is bad. I've never seen anything like this. What the hell did I hit? Can I get back to my chart somehow? Crap. I have no idea what I just did. Shit. Um, hmm. Well, this is not cool. Let me see if I can just close this out. Damn, I've never done that, so I'm kind of lost in it. Nah, this isn't right. All right, we're in some trouble here. Click my trading panel again. Over here, this panel, or trading panel, and then, oh, I guess I would have to. Gotcha. Thanks, Forrest. Appreciate you. All right. So anyway, disaster averted. All right. So as I was saying, you can see short term breaks down, consolidates, but pushes up potentially while this is still moving higher. This could be a signal. I don't know. I don't know if I like that yet. This is too short term, but that could be the catalyst for something. So if this kind of breaks out here in the 15-minute, then you could maybe see more of this bullish momentum continue as things are rising off. Break, consolidate, break. Yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I would put my stop under here potentially. Maybe like 15 pips, something like that. Just kind of under this whole structure. Yeah, you might see that come higher. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, these are the only pairs I trade. Just these 5 pairs. If this breaks out in the next 6 minutes, I might consider an entry. Or maybe I let it break and retest. I don't have to get in right away, but it could just be a breakout. I don't know. It does look like it's coming higher off of this. So if I'm getting yeah, it is definitely counter trend to the now here's the thing. It's counter trend to the correction because overall see, well, here's where it's confusing because overall it wasn't an uptrend since this is like the start of the uptrend right here. So back at the mid-May. So it's been going up. Now but you could see the support here. Divergence. It's starting to move off of this. So that's where it's a little tricky, I guess. But just if I'm reading it, it's reading like it's moving higher. Makes a low, it tests here, makes a higher low. Now it made a higher high. It broke out of this area, so it looks like it's trying to break higher. Is kind of how I see it. But if we're looking at it, we want to see it break this area. So you want to see it break and retest. So maybe not the greatest idea to just get in right away, because it could indeed come lower. But I think if you're going to get long, you want to see break and retest. And I do get burned sometimes taking these 5-minute trades because it's not quite right on like the 15-minute. So just slower, slower. No rush. Where were we? GU doing the same thing. Trying to push off that consolidation. EU, see? Still choppy. Tries to break down. This is just a choppy pair today. Just respecting. Pins to it, and then just drives right off it. Just respecting this level. EA. Not making new lows yet. So I think it was CJ. Yeah, CJ was saying he liked EA to go higher off the divergence. So here you're getting more rejection. Pins, pins, pins. You're getting like, looks like buyers in the market. 3 minutes till the candle closes, so anything can happen. But you can see you got buyers at this area. I would, again, break and retest to either direction. Kind of like this. Something like that. Because you can see, like, break into it, consolidate. You tried to break out, push right back in. So now you're trapped within this. So I wouldn't see a break and retest to either side. That would give you a better idea of direction. Because if you took this breakout here, thinking it was going long, then it would have stopped you right back out. So you want to see break and retest. Two minutes to the stock market opens. Same here. You're getting a lot of like sellers pushing price down on AU. But this thing is kind of looks like it's not sure yet. Break and retest. Because if you look at it like this, you'd be like, oh, it looks like it's moving off this, but it could just as easy fall right back into it. But if this is going to be, like we've been saying, kind of like a bull flag or whatever, it's going to like push up, consolidate, push higher. But I don't know that I particularly agree with that at the moment. Because this is definitely respecting this right here. Clearly it's coming down. GJ. Looks like it's trying to push higher. Here it comes a little bit. Off of this 5 minute. Push, hold. Now you're getting like another small push. Didn't quite clear this level yet. Break, consolidate. Now it's trying to push higher. I don't know. Not completely obvious to me yet. Because it's just right back up to the top of this range. EU. Nothing. EA. Nothing yet. EA's maybe starting to. It's just still consolidating on EA. It hasn't made a decision yet. I think GJ is going to come higher. It just looks like it, at least to retest maybe in this area. If I'm looking at like the 1 minute or the 5 minute and I'm just looking for structure. COVID-19 fears, is that messing everything up? So here on the 5 minute, like I said, imagine, don't look at the 5. Imagine this is any other time frame, right? Consolidation, breaks down, pushes higher, comes down, consolidates right above this level or within this level of consolidation, if you will, kind of above this. And now you're pushing off of it, maybe continuation to try and retest these highs. It's short term, so it would be like, you know, smaller pips, but you would want to see this try and make a higher high, no? I mean, if it's indeed going up, it's going to try and make a higher high. So I at least anticipate price to try and come at least near 85. That would make sense to me. Doesn't have to. It could just fall off because sellers in the market, but that would make sense to me. But maybe this is as high as it gets. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this COVID-19 stuff. Keeping the market volatile. I know that. Showing resistance to this level for the moment. See how it reacts in the next couple candles. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to have to, I'm not leaving, but I might have to step away for like 3 minutes to do something on my other laptop, and I'll be right back. So that's not for 30 minutes, but I have to just knock something out real quick, and I'll come right back. But obviously, I'll leave the stream running. I won't be gone long at all. Yeah, see, you're still in this level. If this had broken up real strong, I'd be like, oh, okay, I think this might come higher. Let's see it, kind of come back here, get a nice entry, and then we'll try and take it up. But you can see it just hit there, and it's still like, and this box is arbitrary. This isn't the, end all be all of boxes. It could be like this, it could be like this. Who knows what it is? Just try and draw it where it shows the most interaction. I think it to be something like that. So as you can see, pushing right back down. EA. I know we had eyes on EA. Here comes a little higher looking like off this divergence. Same though, same as GJ. Still hasn't cleared this level. Maybe just now it did. So now you're starting to move off. Here was potentially the clearing candle. Kind of came in this zone, consolidated, and then this one broke back above the zone. Instead of seeing it break down, it broke above. So now you're starting to get some momentum. And EA moving up higher. CJ, I know you were looking at that off the divergence. See how it handles it. I'm still not convinced yet. Just because the 1 minute divergence, this overall structure, like we were talking about, is still very much bearish. Failed to break out high, came down, corrective channel, made a lower high, pins and rejection. Sellers in the market drove it down. So now it's correcting, not necessarily to come back up. It's correcting to potentially come back down even further. That's how I see it. That's why I'm not convinced on that divergence. It's interesting though, because it's indecisive. It's not showing you either way. It's just that's what I know chop is. It just tries to drag you in long and short. But I think I've got a pretty good read on this for the moment. That it's failing to break these highs and it's starting to drive off of it. And if overall you're in a downtrend, as you know, you can clearly see this is in a downtrend, I'd still want to stay bearish on it and look for the last 3 days. See all this selling pressure up here as it tries to drive higher? Sellers just driving it down. I would stay short on this. Oh, there goes Jesus as I come back and look at the smaller time frame. Big break. Now if I see this break out on the 5-minute, break this zone, looking potentially for a retest here. 30 pips. I would need like a 15 pip stop. Yeah, I could see EA come lower. Got the space on ADR. ADR is all the way down here. You could drive down and touch these lows. Forget the 800. You could come back and test structure low. I would you have this as your first structure, I guess. But you have all this. Look how many times it's hitting here. So I don't know. But it's breaking down. Like I said, I would stay short on it. This could be a 5-minute entry potentially for me. As you're completely breaking this zone. But you still have 2 minutes for the candle close. So I'm not like, oh, yep, I'm in it right now, you know. AU possible breakout. Yeah, a lot of indecisiveness. And you hear it in my voice. And I always say that when I'm like, could do this, could do that, wait for the market, then it's like, that's a no trade for me. But you can see you had all this consolidation, and now you're starting to get a break to the downside. And as Pockets is saying, you're getting a break on AU to the upside, so they're starting to move inverse. Nothing set in stone yet. Not jumping on anything just yet, but you can see now that the stock market's open, New York is officially getting underway. You're starting to find some momentum. So let's see if it's false momentum to kind of induce traders or if it's the real momentum. And the only way you could know that for sure is breaks the structures, break and retest. Let me see what EA would be just for the fun of it. And I wrote all these so I don't have to use my phone. I got all these lot sizes for various stop losses to make it nice and quick for me. So I was trying to be more prepared than I was. So if this is the break, it would be, I would take my stop at like 81. And my entry would be like, it would be like 25. It'd be like 25 pips if I was going to take this breakout. But I don't know. I don't know that. No, I see how it's like dragging back now. It's not a strong 5-minute close. I'll let the 15-minute candle close. Yeah, I mean, you could see it go. You could. You could potentially see it go. I mean, that's a pretty strong engulfing. Stop above. You could see that start to break out. Here it is on a 1-minute break consolidation. GJ? Question mark. I was just getting ready to go there. Yeah, you could see it kind of came down, retest the bottom of this structure. Now it's starting to push off of it. You could see right here, pinned all the way back, and now it's starting to drive up. So we're getting some momentum in the market. That's great. What we want to see. Now we just got to pick the right pair. Which one do we identify with best? They're technically, they would both be counter, but they're back into their overall trend. Yeah, bang. Look at EA taking off. There it goes. That was a nice break. Now it's driving. Where are we going? Right to the 800. Where? Ah, man, what a miss. I'm so annoyed at myself. It's big. That's big. Let's see. The stop was going to be like 15 or so. Oh, man, I might have hit 2R right in that. I might have been done already. Jeez. Hesitation. I said it's making. Yeah, I was ready for that too. I had it all ready to go. I just didn't pull the trigger. And GJ moving higher. So I'm on the ball today. I mean, I'm sharp as attack, but bummer. Bummer, bummer. There it was, yeah. By the formation on here, it looked good. I probably should have I should have took that. I was being a little bit too conservative. That's a nice 2-candle bearish engulfing, engulfs this whole structure. Lots of momentum. Bummer. GJ, looks like it did. Yep. Off of here, you take the whole stop, so you wouldn't have got stopped out. And now it's driving. 2 for 2 on those reads. Read it really well. And what did I get? Goose egg. It's all good. I'm seeing the market really well. It doesn't mean I'm done and that these moves are done just because I missed it. Break and retest, right? EU still struggling. AU moving higher. It's not the greatest 5-minute candle, but did the same as EA. Anybody get on board any of this? What's up, Dill? Yeah, GJ and EA. We had EA right in our sights. We watched it. We literally were right on top of this thing. And I told you why I thought more downside momentum, and there it was. That was the candle. I wasn't quite sure about it. I was potentially ready to go, but I was like, nah, and there it is. One candle. Clearly, this is 2 to 1. You can see the size of this candle versus the size of this candle. This is probably almost 3 to 1. At least 2 to 1. So I could have been out in that one. It took like, what, 1 or 2 minutes? Bummer. Grr. That was a good one. Much cleaner than GJ, in my opinion. EA was the move. So, all right. Let's stay on top of it and let's see how it closes in, the next 20 seconds. Because again, if it is going to keep coming lower, then it's going to come back and retest this zone on like a lower time frame. Maybe not on a 5-minute. 5-minute, you just might see more pressure. But on a 1-minute, something like that, you might see it come up and then give you another inclination that's going to come back and retest this area that it made. So we'll see. But yeah, that's clearly breaking out. 9:45. How's GJ look on the 15-minute? Still pins again to this area. Doesn't mean that just because you see pins is going to reject. That doesn't mean anything, but it's got momentum. See if it holds it. EU is still doing nothing. GU is still doing nothing. EA, perhaps you see a break and some consolidation. We just had a bunch of consolidation, so you're probably going to see momentum, if anything. That would make more sense to me. I don't know why it would like immediately consolidate, because now you got people in this market. So I would want to see it come back and like retest, maybe like 60. Doesn't have to. Could just fall off. But a little bit of a pullback wouldn't be unrealistic. But that's clearly a breakout candle. I think a little bit of a pullback, get a better entry, and then potentially see it come lower. Potentially. Because you can see in here, if you're looking on the 15-minute, I don't want to get too caught up on this, but you could see where you had some support in this area. And there's buyers in here. So you don't know if the buyers are still in here in this area. But it looks like the sellers have control. Take it slow. Technically still divergent on the 1 minute. And you could see here on the 5 minute, as you did break out and make a lower low, you are still divergent on the 5 minute too. So I don't want to get away from structure. To me, it's falling, but you can see there is a little bit of lower time frame divergent. Yeah, you stayed out of EJ. Good, CJ. Yeah, we got to complete it. That's all right though. You can be wrong as long as you don't put your money at risk and you're wrong. That's the best. I don't mind being wrong when I don't even, even if I have money on it, I don't mind being wrong if it's for a good reason. But, um, it's the best when you're like, oh, I was wrong, but I didn't lose anything, so I learned something. But yeah, that just to me, like I said, we really identified this structure well. It's like, I don't know that it would break all the way down here to come back up. It's clearly breaking lower. So, and I still think potentially even lower, maybe down to here, like a full reset. But the full reset only makes sense because this is where structure is. So maybe you can get it to come down here. Don't know for a fact, like another 60 pips. I don't know that for a fact. It could just hold here. Look at all that. People took profits here. That's what a lot of this is. Definitely a lot of people took profits. So let's see it come back and see if we can get another push. Damn. I was on it. You can see here on the 1 minute. It's coming back. Now you got this. This could be the catalyst potentially to see it come back and retest this low. Or could come a little higher. That's why 1 minute shaky. I don't always like doing that. It's too quick. I don't know how far back the correction is going to be. But like I said, 60 made sense to me, and it did hit right around 60. I guess my stop would have to be like 70 or something. Not sure. Let's see. Patience, no rush. I'm not getting crazy. I'm not getting crazy on anything. Yeah, it got close to around here. Because it's just structure. Just trying to see the structure that I would potentially see it come back to. This makes sense. Broke this structure, kind of retest it. Yeah, I like that 5 minute. I did, but I was nervous. I won't lie, I was a little nervous. But I shouldn't have been nervous. That was clean. Yeah, here's trying to come lower now. Yeah, USD is not the move right now. Here it is, just on a 1 minute, just like any other structure. Breakout, push down, consolidate. Here's a really nice entry candle. That was probably the start of the 5 minute right in here. It was. This is 940, so 941, and then bang, that was the drive. Now comes up, consolidates at some level, I'm not exactly sure which level, and then going to come back and retest this low, or in fact, it should try to make a lower low. So this might have been a catalyst, like I said. Stop up here, but the 1 minute's so tight, that little pin could have stopped you out. So I don't know if you use this structure then. You get the entry here, you take the structure here as your stop. I don't know. But this is going to definitely try and retest, I would assume, if I'm reading structure correctly. If not, like I said, the overall grand scheme of things down here on the hour, see, it's just more momentum on the hour, just more bearish momentum. 30-minute hit its 30-minute 800. Just wait and see. Could just be like I keep saying, breakout. Now since it broke out, just a little bit of consolidation and then push. There it goes. See how far it drives. Yeah, see, man, this is not easy, but it just wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. Broke out, comes back up, consolidates. It has to check this low. Has to. It has to. Here you are. You're right back at the pin. Now, are buyers in the market? Is it going to drive it up? Or is there plenty of sellers in this market? And they're just going to keep driving it lower, 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 potentially down to this overall structure low. We don't know. But you know for a fact that it has to come and at least try and check this low. It has to. That's just market structure. EU new high day. Yes, sir. See that? GJ as well, pushing up. So we're on it today. We are clearly, and as AU drives higher, EA is going to drive down. Oh, what a whiff, man! Big whiff today on this pair. Big miss. You're EA, okay, nice. As long as it keeps showing you bearish momentum, I don't want to buy it. Just proper risk management, proper stop loss. Continue to look for signs of bearish momentum, which you're getting. That's it. AU back to the 5 minute 800, trying to get maybe to this 15 minute, because this is like overall trend kicking in on these pairs potentially. Let's see. That's a nice 5 minute on GJ right there. I like that. That's really nice. Clears that whole structure. Stop it like 60. That's like a 30 pip stop. You would need 60. I don't want to go that extreme on it. No, 20. Sorry. Let me do my math again. Well, no, it probably would be closer to 30. Let me see. Because if I'm getting in here, it's like 98. But the stop would have to be like 60. So it's like a 28 pip stop. So that means I would need to see it go like a full reset. It doesn't have 60 pips in it. Maybe it just does. No, it's like 40 something. So see, it doesn't even have the ADR to. Now, that doesn't mean it has to go there today. I could hold it into tomorrow and see if the momentum continues, but I would have liked to have been in it at a different place. And maybe it does go. And maybe it busts its ADR. But I can't. It completely missed it. We're all just staring at this stuff running away right in front of us. Our analysis was so great. Like, it was so clean. We were in agreement that EA was, making lower momentum, and we were in agreement that GJ was making higher momentum, and we just didn't grab an entry. So analysis is great, but execution is lacking. Pushes up, consolidates, breakout. Awesome. I mean, it's great. I love to see it. Of course, I wish I would have gotten some of this. I'd have been well done on that EA position. Just need that little break. Now you can see you're rejecting this low right here for the moment on the 1 minute. Pinned down to it, buyers came in. Now it's kind of pushing off of it. So a little indecision in this market as to what it's doing. Again, you're still divergent on the 5 minute. And overall, you're still divergent on the 1 minute. So that could have just been like a false breakdown, or maybe it's indeed still going to fall. Don't know. But right now, you're showing a little bit of weakness here. So we'll see how it plays out. Doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean it's just going to completely turn up. Just what do you see? What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? If at the moment it's showing weakness, then it's showing weakness. But it still looks like it's falling. I mean, clearly it's falling. I wouldn't be buying it. Just giving a little bit of trouble at this area, that's all. Yeah, here it comes again. Gonna try and drive lower. Definitely stay short. Thanks, Seville. Appreciate it, man. It's very, very technical, and that's it. As long as you stay technical and you trust what you're seeing in the market, for the most part, you're going to be correct. Try and stay with the trend and just stay with market structure. That was an easy win. I don't want the 5 minute. I want this one. All right, 10 o'clock hour. Here we go. 40 seconds. Breaking down. Like I said, if you're potentially coming lower, we're going to test this level potentially at like 163.90 on EA potentially. Retest this area potentially as support to come higher. Because if you look at it even on the bigger, it's like this to me. You're in this box. You're just bouncing the box. Comes into the box, hits the target, comes down, hits the top of the target, comes down. So you're kind of just chopping. This doesn't mean you can't make money in the chop. And there's my alarm for what I have to do at 10 o'clock. So there you go. Clean breakout to the downside on EA on the hour. AU to the upside. Right. Engulfs. See if you can get a little pullback maybe. And then continuation. Break and retest, people. Break and retest. EU. Upside. Nice. I like that on the hour. That's not too bad. Broke this whole consolidation. Broke the box up nice and strong. That could potentially see like a pullback maybe, and then more continuation. That's clearly some strong momentum. GJ on the hour, again, breaks out for an hour, consolidates for an hour, breaks up for an hour. So now you're starting to get more bullish momentum. And in GU, here it is again. Breaks up, consolidates. This little could be the catalyst, but we weren't sure because it didn't break the zone. Now it's breaking the zone. Let's see about maybe a retest as support before more confirmation to the upside. Or is it going to just completely rock back down? We don't know. Don't know yet. So we missed kind of some breakout moves, but now might be a little too dicey to get in right away on any of these pairs because it might try and shake out people. But I still think the biases are correct. So let me run and do what I have to do real quick. Obviously, going to keep the stream running. I'm going to be back in literally like 3 minutes. I'll put the music on and I'll be right back. All right. All right. We back. Sorry, I have you listening to ads. Okay. So, as you can see, like I said, when I draw these boxes, they aren't always the end all be all. So as you would look at this and you say like, oh, well, maybe it didn't break the box. That's not the point. What you're looking for is momentum, and we knew momentum was to the downside. So we're breaking into the box. This candle right here, this bearish engulfing, yeah, it's kind of like not the best, but at the time, see, that's why I hate replay, because this is never correct. At the time, this was through. And to me, that's signaling momentum. That's how I see momentum when I see these things starting to happen, you know. So then, as you take that entry with it like this, you know, obviously we know what happened. We just saw it. You're in here like this, even with a spread, and then your stop is above. You know, no, I already did that. Stop. Um, you know, and then like I said, for me, I just go for 2R. So you're looking at like, you know, 16, 17 pips. And then out. Was out right there. You're out. Hit my 4% for the day. Took, you know, one, maybe two, 3 candles. So that's how it should have been. But I definitely hesitated, and I always, I told my brothers this when they were growing up. I said hesitation will kill you, and that's what happened. I got burnt. So whatever. GJ wasn't as clean, but we did say initially, where was it? This little one. Remember we said this little one right here at 920? That this could be the catalyst. Put your stop below the whole structure. If you put your stop below all this structure with the pins, you would have held. I don't know if we would have got, let's see, you would have done it like this, and you would have had a stop under these pins, under the structure with a little bit of give. So it was 31. So you're not quite at 2R yet, but you're in profit. And that's why I liked EA a little bit better. To 80R is probably, yeah, so you're so close. Like you were so close with it, depending on your entry and your stop and all the parameters. But just like we said, this could be the igniter candle because it's breaking out, but you want to take the whole stop. You don't want to take it right here because it could easily come back and retest the zone as it does. And then it threw another, kind of 2 candle, but it wasn't quite the greatest. But this one is good. But you need a lot of, you need a lot of pips to get to your 2R. No, 2% is definitely not really scary at all. Monday. See, we're coming in with biases about the day and stuff, and maybe I kind of felt the same. I wasn't trying to be too aggressive, but EA was really clean, so much cleaner than any of the other pairs, and we had done so much analysis on it too, and still falling. There's no reason that's not going to continue to try and keep falling. I don't see anything quite yet telling me that it's done. But I don't know if I could find a good entry. EU broke out nicely right here. I see it on the 5-minute. This candle just completely cleared the zone. Like this is a nice 2 candle, but it was still in this. But then when this one breaks and closes at 9:45, which is also the 15-minute, it was still in this box, this overall box. But you know that you would at least be trying to test the highs. So, depending how you like to trade, this could be, but this was still dicey too. But you could see that you were at least going to try and come back to the top of this box and just happened to burst through. Just momentum came in. Well, I doubt it was any news. Probably just market, Why does this keep going off? Yeah, there was a little high impact news 21 minutes ago. EU, UK confirms no extension to Brexit transition. So some Brexit news that we haven't heard in a while kind of popped up real quick and just drove some momentum into the market. So you never know what it's going to be, but again, we had that bias just based on market structure. So news just was a catalyst, and that's why I truly believe news is. I believe if you're correct on your direction, news is just a catalyst. It doesn't determine direction; it determines volatility. EA still trying to come lower. Good, it's a good move. It's a clean move, really good. Like we said, potentially back to this 800, which makes sense because this is the low. This is market low, so or structure low. This is where the day started, actually. And we're in a downtrend overall. You can see the day started right here from Friday where it closed. So you start down here. Pushed up, sellers, like we were saying, 1, 2, 3, all these sellers just driving price back down because you're still in a downtrend overall. That's how you get this multiple levels of confluence. You look at the daily, and you don't take any one to the bank, Now you can see, failed to make a higher high, or pins, Now you're starting to drive off it. Clearly broke out. Try and come and retest the structure right here. Makes sense. Why? Because that's where the previous level of support was. So if it's not crashing through and going higher and it's going lower, the potential is for it to come back and test market structure low. Consolidate, drop, consolidate. And this is what we were saying on Thursday or Wednesday. Maybe not necessarily here because you don't know. You're still waiting for this to retest. But once it drops in here, look for an area to get short. And we found it. We just didn't take it. So it's great. It's you know, it's awesome to be able to do this day in, day out, day in, day out. It's like just because I didn't grab it today, it's like, yeah, of course I would have loved to have made 4%. But I love more that I can see this day in, day out, day in, day out. Because if I can do it today, then I could do it any day. And if I didn't get it today, then that's all right. I'll get it tomorrow. The key is that I see it. I read it. I'm giving myself great probability before it happens. And then it happens. Awesome. Awesome. That's just more confidence in myself and what I'm doing, you know, and in yourself and what you're doing. Keeping it simple, just reading market structure, and the market's continuing to do what it's saying to do because the market doesn't lie to you. The market just gives you facts, and it's up to you to break down the facts and find the truth of it. I love it. I'm happy. It's a great day. It's a great day. GU with this really nice candle here, much like GJ. See, cleaner than GJ. And that's the other thing, too. You have to find which pairs are the cleanest. Because they all have the potential to move in the direction that you think. But which one's going to offer you the cleanest setup? This one's not bad. Maybe 25. You need 50. Doesn't look like it has 50 in it. So that's why EA was the best. It had all the space. It had the cleanest setup, the cleanest structure. EA was really nice. I think that was the best trade to take today. And as we said, there's still no reason to get out. It's clearly falling, clearly falling. Where's support? You know, this is clearly still falling, it's just chopping. And again, if we go into the 1 minute, we said that maybe this one, and then this one. Now you get a pullback. This is just break and retest. But this might have been the catalyst. Get your stop up above the pins because you know on the 1 minute it could be choppy. Maybe even all the way up here. Even if you take it down here, you know, at this area, and maybe you take like 20 pips just to be safe because it's the 1 minute and you never know. You're at 1R. You could lock a stop if that's the way you trade, you know. Hit 1R, lock a stop. But clearly it's still coming to the downside. Why? Where does it say that it's finding resistance? It doesn't. It's still just falling. It's cool. Whatever. Is what it is. Dollar index crashing lower. Broke this zone that we had drawn. Keep it simple. Fails to make a higher high. Comes up to it, tests it, can't do it, chops. Breaking out. Maybe this candle, if you're aggressive, this little one, you know, not that you could trade this. This would be the EU at 945 and then the push. EU at 945. So they're both, you know, because they're inverse, so it's exactly the same. It's just flipped. Is what it is. Definitely potential miss of a re-entry on this pullback here because you, again, like we said, you know that it has to come and check this low. Broke this low. Now we're using this low as support, or excuse me, a resistance potentially to come lower. Or is this divergence going to kick in and we're going to see it correct a little higher? Don't know. We missed the move. That's all I know. Whatever it's doing now is irrelevant because you already missed where you wanted to be in that. Now you'd have to wait for another potential re-entry. Still like JPY pairs to come lower. Are you looking at like a CAD JPY or NZD JPY? They do look a little. GJ was looking a little weak. You're in this really steep. In for example, if you're looking at CAD JPY, you got this really steep ascending channel. I don't know if it's a corrective channel before coming lower, as you were saying. Maybe JPY pairs to come lower. If it is, you're going to need it to level off and then crush the zone down. But right now, it's just going to potentially bounce within that. Let's see, NZDJPY. Just for fun, we'll check these out. Same thing. Something like, you maybe draw like that. It's like kind of like a wedge. Not as clean, not as clear. You're getting lots of rejection up here. You could see it had a lot of rejection up here too, but then it pushed through. But then now you're getting more rejection up here for the moment. Divergence, divergence. Yeah, specifically this one. GJ, let's hop on that one. Definitely divergent. Trying to. So now again, just like we look at any other time frame, what are you starting to see? You see a new high a day. Comes up, can't break the high. So now it's falling off of that, because if it's failing to break the high, that means sellers are in the market. So now it's coming down. Let's see how it holds this level. See if it comes back up to try again. If it tries to get higher again and fails, then you could potentially say, you know what, this is failing and it could come lower. But again, this is only the 1 minute, so that would have to be a scalp. As you look at the higher time frame, like a 15-minute, I'm just seeing higher highs, higher lows. So this would come back to retest this zone that we had drawn potentially to continue its upward momentum, potentially. Yeah, CAD. A little stalling for the moment on EA. It's a little consolidation. Let's look at the 30-minute on some of these. Nice. Bull flag on a 30. Breaks up. 1, 2, 3, hour and a half of sideways momentum before more bullish pressure. Using this consolidation zone right here to also consolidating. See, consolidated, pulled down, but they came right back up. Consolidated again. Bulls were in the market, drove it up with that news. GJ, yeah, not. EA was so clean, and it was so simply clean. Sometimes you just have to expand the chart a little bit. It's just not breaking this level, and this was the key right here. And then there's your consolidation, breaks down, consolidates, breaks down. Push, correct, push. Awesome. Still trying to come lower. Getting a little bit of rejection here. You still got 10 minutes in this candle, so anything can happen. But again, I still, it's clearly breaking out. I don't know if you'd want to go against it. But the ADR on this thing is, I guess if it's at 50. No, it's at like 40. Doesn't have much. It's got like 30 pips left in it from where it reached its high. Excuse me, a little more than 30 from where it's at currently. So you would assume that you need to, if you were going to continue with this momentum, you would need to find a clean reason for entry, and you would need to find a stop that's, at least for me, how I trade, like 15 pips, so that you could try and get to ADR with 30. But again, it could crank. It could crank all the way up here. It could do anything it wants. But if you want to stay consistent, you got to stay within the parameters. And that's, don't ignore ADR and just assume it's going to drive up here or up here to retest this high. Doesn't have to. But makes sense to me. Rejected the low, but then came right back off it. So now maybe you come and retest these highs, 36 flat, over the course of the next couple of days potentially. Or does it find sellers in this market, in this area, that holds it and tries to drive it back down to retest this low? I don't know. The divergence kicking in. Could still come lower. So I like it when it's easier to read like this. So it's just so easy. Clear and obvious. So how's everybody making out? Keep your losses small, keep your winners big. That's the idea. Man, I had my finger on the pulse. I don't know why I didn't take this. It looked right. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't take that. I guess I was just being a little bit too conservative. Watching AU for continuation or to fall off. Okay. Still got some space on AU. Kind of hitting the high a day here. Like the initial open, I guess you could say. Asia high. You're right at that area. Definitely see if it could pull back a little bit and find some support. This could be pullback right here. If you're looking at it like this, like, okay, so here you go. This is breakout. So it breaks out. It's a little bit divergent, so now it corrects. Okay, here's your correction. Now, are you going to retest this? Is this a good area of, like, support? Does it hold here and then drive up? Don't know. Does it come back lower? Does it come back to here? I'm trying to use like this level. This high would make sense to me. Somewhere in this area, not exactly this exact number, but somewhere in this area would make sense to me as a hold. If you're going to see more upward momentum. Got this 800 here, but I don't care about that. That doesn't. Oh, it hit the 800. It's going to stop. Nah, that's stupid. That's subjective. Market structure. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Consolidation to a higher low, higher high. stay with it. Who cares about this 800? If it gives you reason, like, okay, it's, price comes up and now it's not pushing higher, it's stalling here, well, then that's market structure at the 800. But I don't let that, like, be the reason for my trades. It's just a guide for me. I want to see probable reasons for more bullish continuation after, because it's a break. You're in an uptrend. Now with this momentum, it's moving up. So I like to see a retest and then a potential retest to this structure. 1, 2, and then again. So pull back and then break and retest. DXY coming back up. CJ, yeah, I'm working to take off the indicators. I'm looking to get rid of them. That's why all weekend the videos I watched are all just candles, no indicators. So like I'm learning though to see through them, if that makes sense. I'm learning to use them as like target areas, but really, and also like to kind of guide my eye, I guess you could say, but I'm really getting good at not even using them, and I really want to take them off because they really just hold you back, in my opinion. Now, when you're first starting off, it's helpful, you know what I mean? But if you hit here, for instance, and now you're coming down here, and you're hitting the 800, and you're like, oh, it's divergent here, and it's at the 800. Like, oh, look, it's divergent, you know? Price action is falling, but the TDI says it's rising, and now it's like starting to pull up, and I think it's going to hold this, if that was someone's mindset because of what they're seeing of it, like, kind of coming off this 800, it just affects the way you see it. I like to just look at it for the market structure, and that's why I'm just working to get myself out of these and then simply trade market structure and keep the TDI because, and even the TDI, I don't like to use all the time as well because they're subjective. The only thing that is fact, 100% fact, is that this candle opened at this price at 66 and closed at 45. That's a fact. That is the only thing on that chart that is an absolute fact besides every other candle that came before it. This is all biased because now it's saying, look, oh, these EMAs are falling. It's in a downtrend. It's in a downtrend, but look what happened. It just came back up. So if you're here trying to sell it because you got this in a selling setup and you're in a downtrend, so all your subjective indicators are telling you down, and you put the short in here because it's breaking out, you're lost because that's not what the market is doing. It made a low and came up, and then it hit here, but it's at this level, or you know what I mean? Like it's just not, it's not right yet. And now that might be something that I would take, even just on structure, just because you're trying to see it come lower. But to me, I think it can. I would want to see it a break, because you're saying, oh, well, maybe it comes down to test this low. As I keep saying, like if it's going to come lower, it's got to come back and test this low, you know. But it just, to me, I don't know. It's too many subjective things. But the TDI I would like because maybe this tells you that's not going lower. That's why I want to get rid of the EMAs, but keep the TDI. Retest, yeah, retesting this zone. Retesting this price area. So now it is divergent a little bit here, but again, you're starting to see momentum to the upside, so I don't want to ignore the divergence, but I also don't want to be like completely beholden to it. It's definitely fallen off pretty good though. If you're looking at these lower time frames, failed to break the high, came down. Look, this is identical to what EA did, pretty much. If you have the high, it fails to break the high, comes down, comes up, makes a lower high after this lower low, comes down, consolidates sideways. You don't really have a clean breakout candle. Maybe this one right here, this kind of 2 candle, and then falling off. Potentially back down here, or at least in here, in this area, if not a full reset. If it's going to keep coming lower than a full reset. But we're trying to stay long biased on it, so you want to see more momentum to the upside, but doesn't look great right now. I'd like to see this structure shape up a little better at the moment. EA doing the same. Coming right back up to this area here on the 1 minute. Where it pulled back to. So what's it going to do at this level here? Is it going to use it as resistance and continuation more back down? Or is it going to break it? It's still in a downtrend. I wouldn't want to go against that. It's just correction. Right back to here, you know, see? Comes down, shakes out people who are selling low. Because people are also taking profits. So you're driving up and you got buyers in here. But you're still in a downtrend. So you want to stay short on it. And look for a clean reason to get in short. To at least come back here potentially. Now, is divergent. You know? What was divergent from here? Well, not even. That's not even right. Let me get this off. That's not correct. Because this was divergent. Just these two bottoms. And it was failing to make a lower low, failing to make a lower low, failing to make a lower low. And that's when it pushed off to start the day from Friday. Kept failing to break the lows. So if it keeps failing to break the lows, that means there's buying pressure. That's why it drove up. Broke out of this zone here, you can see. Comes back, finds support, more buyers. Comes back, same exact level. Anybody who had stop losses down here trying to take out stop losses, collect more sells, more buying pressure, makes the high, comes down, fails to make the high, and the sellers are just retaking the market. So it's a little choppy, to be honest. But there is clean entries in there. GU finding support, potentially. I think so. Support on this trend line rising. Maybe this is a good area. I like the way it's holding here. See, GJ is like broke down through its TDI strong. And that's why I think CJ was saying JPY maybe to come lower. But you can look at GU and it looks like it's holding it a little better. It's holding a little better structure. See GJ on the 5 minute here. You can see like it came up and GJ broke down. Didn't hold this high as support, broke through it. But when you look at GU, it's holding it. So it's holding better structure. It's holding this initial open to potentially drive higher. Potentially. That's how I see it. If you had been watching a 5 minute on AU, I wouldn't have gotten squeezed this morning. Yeah. I try and look at all of them. Like, I don't like always, like, you can see that I tend to go into these lower time frames to try and, like, get an idea of what's to come based off of the higher time frame structures. But yeah, it can be dicey in there sometimes. It's good and bad. I think you got to use it, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. GU looks like it definitely wants to try and continue this movement. using this low as support now to potentially drive off it because you broke it, retest, and now maybe a break again. I don't know. I don't quite know. I feel like I quote unquote missed my move, so I don't know if I'm gonna try and dive myself into anything with about 30 minutes left in my session. So I really only trade till 11. After 11, and I do miss trades sometimes that come at like 11:30, 12, stuff like that, but I've got other stuff that I need to do. EU trying to come up as well. Again, much like GU, using this level, not breaking below it, but using these highs as support and pushing higher. Maybe this 2 candle is the igniter right here, kind of down and then breaks up like reversal. So this can come back higher to try and test these highs, like scalping type stuff. But that makes sense to me. EA on a 1 minute back at this level that we had said. Broke it. It's coming down. Now it's trying to get there again, kind of wicks and pins. I know this is only the 1 minute, so anything can happen real quick, so I don't hold this with absolute truth. But again, structure. What is it doing? Is it failing to break this high? Is it going to then continue with the sellers in this market to drive low back down here to like 22? Or is it going to, push up and continue this kind of correction? Have to see where the correction ends. Because it's again, we take breakouts, and this was the breakout, and then came down and broke out again. So it's testing what this could be an entry right here. So it's retesting this entry. Your stop would be at like 68, so it's like 20 pips. So if you got here with a stop at this area here, you need 40. So you would need price to like get down in this area, something like that. If you were to be in here and a stop was, all these parameters. I don't know that that's the best move because I'm not convinced that this is ready to fall yet. Doesn't tell me that yet. You have to see how it handles this level. If it continues to fail at this level, then it could fall off. 7 a.m. your time threw a big no-no and I didn't see it. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. Let's see. 7 a.m. like this kind of push up. Maybe looking to come lower and this pushed up. Yeah, because for me, I guess I would say like comes lower, then it comes up, then it comes back down. But I don't know. That's tough. That's definitely a tough one. EA right back to this 1 minute high. Right back at this level and looking strong. This might come up. It's not looking weak, it's looking strong. Dollar index, a little bit divergent. failing to make a new high for now on EU. The inverse candle would have told me. Oh, the inverse, like you were saying last week, you were telling me about that. We saw that on, I think, EU. And then we got that nice buy entry. GJ falling back down. Yeah, it wasn't a great sign when it was breaking this 5-minute high. When it was breaking this down, that's not what you want to see. You want to see a hold here as like a support. So like it breaks up, kind of retests this level of support, and then throws another bullish sign, but it didn't. It's throwing bearish signs. So now it's back to this level, to this high, kind of like the right near the open of the day, like right on it. So does it now come back and use this as support to try and drive higher? Or is it still just falling off? And as you go to the 15-minute, you see the same. Back at the bottom of this range, kind of broke itself right back into it. See if it holds and pushes out. Looks like I said, it's been falling. You know, this corrective, it's been correcting since, you know, last week. Failed to break the high, and then just same thing. Just so while 2 weeks ago it was moving up, and that's what we said is moving up, but it's correcting. So we want to find where the correction stops. It's probably, in my opinion, probably going to be a good area where it might stop to then come back higher. Retest this high, but I don't know that for a fact. Double bottoming down here at this level. Slightly divergent. Been falling. Comes up. Comes back down. It's like this. Something like this maybe. Now maybe you're just bouncing in between this level. This doesn't need to be that far out, but maybe it's something like that. You can see here. Tried to break out. So right here when it breaks out, you want to see it breaking and a retest and then bear momentum, but it didn't. It just shoved right back up. So now you're just kind of bouncing between this zone. It's very indecisive. Gaining some momentum. Got 20 seconds for his candle. So, okay, here you go. EA. Like we said, it broke higher. It's not divergent. So it did structurally, it made a higher low here, came up and then made a higher high. Now it's at this level. Is it going to fall back down with the overall trend? Or is it going to come back up and try and make it a new high, and then this becomes a higher low area? If it drives higher, this is then a higher low, and now you have, you're starting to make a bullish uptrend pattern. But for now, it's still in a downtrend. You could see maybe consolidate and push down. I'm not sure. See, I like it when it's easier to read. Right now, it's being a little bit. But still, I think you would want to stay potentially bearish on it. Kind of got a nice bearish engulfing here on this 5-minute. Kind of driving through. Not quite yet. I don't like how this is rising. Not yet. You know, I mean, anything can happen. It could easily just push off of here, but to me, not quite yet. It's not really the candle I like. But I could be wrong because this could just, on a 1-minute, be a breakdown, a consolidation, and then more continuation. So that could be it. And even though this, and that's why, again, this is subjective. Structure tells me that it's probable. It's bearish engulfing to come back down. Everything else is subjective. So yeah, this could be more continuation down for EA. Have to wait and see. Not yet though. It's not giving you, not giving it to you yet. I think on the 1-minute you would want to see something like this, like a nice strong candle that breaks this whole consolidation, then you would get an entry. Like that, pretty much. That's potential. Not guaranteed, because again, this could just be a higher low, but that could potentially be the catalyst. But that's why I don't like trying to do it on the 1-minute. 1 minute's too fast. But that, you know, did break out. But it's too quick. This was divergent. You're pulling up. You could just be holding this level for more continuation. I don't know. It's very indecisive for me at the moment. But overall down, so you'd want to stay down. Five-minute candle. Pushing down. See how, give it some time. Looks about right though. You wouldn't want to be putting buys in. You want to stay with it to the downside. Coming right back to our original entry, like which would have been here. You could see it's like kind of pinning to it, reaching for it, and then falling off. And that's why it does that a lot. Comes back and retests. It's not always exact, but you know, this is clearly, you know, the level. We had it drawn like this. I think we had it drawn something like this. So reaching for this level, rejecting, sellers are pushing it down. Now you're starting to get more of that selling momentum. Doesn't mean it's going to fall forever. Doesn't mean it's not going to fall forever. It could easily come down here. It could easily just come here and stall. It could do anything, but you want to stay with the trend. 23 seconds. This might be a reasonable 5-minute entry. But I don't know if I don't think I'm going to take that, but I'd like to see it really drive. But I mean, if you're looking at this kind of consolidation, it's up and right back down to it. But it's stalling here, like it's not getting through. But again, these are subjective, but from my experience with using this, that's not the greatest time to be putting in a short. You want to see more momentum. And usually what this line indicates is the EMA. They do definitely work, you know, hand in hand. See how it didn't break the 800, didn't break this, so doesn't mean anything because again, it's subjective. But from my experience, that's not the most probable time where I'd want to be putting in a short. EU AU momentum. Yeah. Came back, retest the high, found support here. Yeah, found support at these highs. Right here. That's what we were saying. You like to see it like that. GJ's trying to hold. GJ just doesn't look great at the moment. It's just consolidating. Just choppy. Holding this breakout though, you can see it tried to pin back to it, but buyers were still in there. So it never quite got back to the bottom of this. Not yet. Yeah, it's definitely, things are kind of made that quick move and now it's like shaking people out. Yeah, it's probably going to be it. I mean, if you stay on and your trading session extends, there's a likelihood to find a move, but I think that might have just been, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the market's actually doing, but could just been a quick burst and then maybe some choppiness now, but you know your directions, you know your biases, you know what you're looking for. EA's still trying to push lower, 8 minutes left in the candle. Again, if you're going to get in this trade, you want to be in like something like this or like this. You know, this was indeed a good one. And that the 1 minute I find you need a bigger stop, so you'd want to be above like the pins, definitely above the pins, because if you had put it at the top of the candle, you would have got bopped out. But again, break, consolidate, break, consolidate, break. It's just structure. Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, just depending on your direction. And of course, you know, when it made this low a day, that potentially the odds are in your favor that it wants to come back to try to test this area, because that's just the market structure right here. It doesn't have to get exactly to it, it might just pin to it, but who knows, maybe it just drives through it. Here's another one breaking down. Ugh. GJ, 1 minute breakout, clearing this consolidation, starting to see some, see now you're starting to see some momentum. Comes down, consolidate, see if this breaks out here on a 5 minute. Could potentially be an igniter to more momentum, depending how it closes in 30 seconds. The candles are just too big for what's on ADR, but it looks good. Like it's trying, it's you know, it's surging. It's trying to retest these highs. Does it get there? Does it continue? Does it fail? I don't know, but you can see staying with that momentum and waiting for a clear, obvious signal. So there it is. Clearly breaking out of this zone that was in this consolidation. Potential to the upside. Maybe like a 20 pip stop. ADR is 50 from where price currently is, so you could get 2 to 1 if you took this candle right here. You could see with 5 minutes left in the candle, it's driving towards the highs. Momentum is on your side to the upside. Came back, consolidating this level. Now it's pushing off this level of support. Break and retest, break and retest. Right to the top of this structure and the bottom of this structure with the pins. 4 minutes left in the candle. Could do anything at once. But right now it's getting some momentum. See what it does at the highs at around like 04, 05, 06, somewhere in that area. See if it has strength or if it starts to fail off. If it starts to, show weakness, then you know it's going to happen. It's probably not going to drive through. But right now it's showing strength. EA stalling. AU stalling. EU with a nice push, but then immediate rejection. Made a higher high to the 800 and through, but immediately is turning down now. Like immediate. It's not a good sign. Let's see if it uses this area here as support, like the top. See if it just stops here and supports and then fills this wick. Or if it's like, nah, I'm done. GJ still looking strong. 2 minutes left in the candle. You can see, on a 1 minute, some might call it this. Shoulder, head, shoulder, inverse head and shoulders potentially. With the breakout candle right here. Entry here. Stop at the bottom. Consolidate. 2 candle bullish engulfing. No, continuation. Coming up to the highs. As it always should always try and retest the highs. Now is it going to drive through? Or is it going to find sellers at that spot? Looks like it's trying to come up to me. Looks like there's some momentum in that. 5 minute driving. This nice 2 candle. See, as we said, broke this whole range. Next candles, you want to see it continue higher. A minute left to see what it does. Just because these formations are always presenting, they always aren't correct. It has to make sense of where it's finding its support and where it's throwing it off of structurally. No, you definitely don't want to call a top. You just want to see how it reacts. To me, it looks, especially like GJ looks, it's looking strong. But again, if it can body through, then potentially you have more probability to move higher, but it's still divergent. So it could be choppy. And also, if you drew this, you're in a ascending channel, something like this. So you're definitely looking a little weak, especially here in the 1 minute as you peel over. It got up towards the highs, but it's failing off of it now. I don't like that. That's not something that I would like to see. You divergent on the 5 minute, you divergent on the 15 minute. Probably not the greatest. EU. Failing. AU. GJ. We just looked at EA. rejection. Came to the low, but rejection. Here it is on a 1 minute, making a higher low structurally. So came down, failed to make a lower low, failed to make a lower low. In fact, so structure is now that this is starting to move the opposite way. Again, this is a 1 minute short term, but it starts to happen on the lower time frames before you see it on the higher time frames because these candles have to build. So right now, not ideal. Missed the trade, missed the move. That was, likely. Was a really good session. I think we read everything well, considering all the indecisiveness that's been going on. This is still really clean. Like I said, on replay, it doesn't show it, but if you go back and look at this stream, you'll see that this was potential, probable, showing momentum through these. That was the most probable, and you easily would have smashed 2R and been a winner chicken dinner in about 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes to make like $600. That's, I'm not getting that anywhere. But did not happen. So I feel good. Feel good about the session. But I'm not going to look to trade anything else. Still trying to come higher on GJ. Just watch it at the highs. But I wouldn't stay away from the bullish momentum on it. But that's why I don't want to trade it either, because this isn't ideal where I want to take trades at. So that's why I would just, for me, I'm not going to stay with anything. I saw what I saw and I missed what I missed. But that is it. So again, good patience on everyone, good reads. Hope you got some good insight on this session and maybe seeing structure a little bit clearer. But that's going to be it for me. I'll be back again tomorrow, 8:30, same time, same place. Hopefully don't catch any crazy London breakouts and ruin my session for me before I get there. 2 a.m. news, 8:30 news. So I don't know. We'll see. If it is, it is. Nothing I could do about it. This is what I trade. This is when I trade. And as long as I keep doing this, then I'm going to keep finding good probable entries. So that's it, man. If you continue trading, good luck with your day. Don't get into anything that doesn't look perfect to your trading plan. If it does, just make sure you use proper risk management. But I will catch you all tomorrow. I'm out of here. Have yourselves a great day. Until next time, peace, people. Later.